Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can make the Ubuntu theme that Armando made for free. See? Looks very similar. I have the home, I have a gaming page, media. So I'm going to show you in this video how you can do this for free, and I'll be showing you on this page, which I haven't completed yet. So first I'm going to go over some of the differences that are going to have to happen because you're not using TSF Launcher or Widget Locker for this theme, because those cost money. So starting with the lock screen. Obviously you won't be able to have the little lock thing in the middle. You'll just have the background, and then you'll have the slider here to do that. And you also won't be able to have the sidebar that comes out here. So with those little exceptions, you'll be able to make this theme for free. So first you have to go and download all the applications that are in the links below in the description. And once you have all those installed, go into your Nova settings here. I'm going to go down the list of what you have to change. So, beginning with the desktop, you have to change the desktop grid from whatever it was before to 5 by 5. And then you have to go down into home screens, change the arrangement so that the top one is the default one. And you can do that by taking the check mark and just dragging it around and put it on the top one. And then the scroll effect you can change to whatever you like. I have it on none. Wallpaper scrolling you want to make sure is on. And these three checks are very important. You have to make sure that resize all widgets is on, widget overlap, and overlap when placing is also on. Into the drawer, nothing really needs to be changed here unless you really want something changed. Now the dock, you just have to make sure that enable dock is checked off because you don't want a dock in the Ubuntu theme. Under look and feel, you want to make sure you change the color theme so that it's this code FF7D11. We're going to be using that color for several different things. And then the folders, the folder preview is going to be fan, unless of course you like something different. And then the folder background will be platform, unless you like one of the other options here. So that is all you have to do in order to change the settings so that it will work with this. And then if you want, you can make a backup now. Just hit backup and then select the name, as you can see here, and then save it. I have a link in the description to Armando's video. In his description, he has a link to the files you need to download in order to do this modification here. So we're going to start with the background. Once you have the files downloaded, you can get the backgrounds. So you're going to go into Wallpapers and then select Live Wallpapers and scroll down until you find the multi-picture live wallpaper option. Now this is going to be going exactly as Armando's video said it, so if you know how to do this already, then you can just skip this part. But starting with common settings, you want to make sure that the picture source is wherever the pictures are located. So you have to just select picture folder and then navigate to wherever it is. And that's it for common settings. Then you have to press the add individual settings so you can make screen 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For the leftmost screen, you want to make sure that you select the one that says U1. For this one, you want to make sure it says U2. For this one, U3, screen 4 is U4, and screen 5 is U5. Now, when you go down lower, you want to make sure that you say Use Lock Screen Settings. And then under Lock Screen Settings, you want to make sure that you have the lock screen image as the picture source. For transition type, you can experiment with these. I found that crossfade is probably the best one. Going lower down, you want to make sure that double tap to change picture is unchecked. The picture change interval you want to set to never, so that way it doesn't change automatically without you scrolling across to a different page. And you can select these options however you feel you need to. For my phone, I want to put the memory usage on small because that way it doesn't waste so much battery. And then you hit set wallpaper, and then you should have the wallpaper set up like this. Obviously, it's not going to look this way with the apps yet because we haven't done that. But you should have the blank screens with the wallpaper there. So here we're starting with a clean page, and the first thing you want to do is set up the upper label up here. So that one is going to be under Widgets, and you're going to scroll all the way down to where it says UCCW, and this is going to be the 3x1, no sorry, this is going to be the 4x1 widget. And you're going to select main title, and then where it says tap, you just tap. And then this one looks like gaming by default, but you want to just make it something else. So what you'll do is place it on the top, right up there, and then you're going to tap it to edit it. So here what you can do to change the wording of it, you can go to select object and hit set static text. And if you scroll over, you can find the text section. And now you can rename this whatever you want. So I'm going to name this MISC for miscellaneous, like that. And then over here you want to go to position, and you're going to push the left button 40 times to get it into the right positions. You're 940. And now this is positioned correctly. You can just go back and it'll shift that over and rename it. So now you have this label set up correctly. Now we want to do the smaller ones, which belong here and here. So you also go into widgets. These are also going to be UCCW 4x1 right there. Except this time you're going to choose the regular titles, and you tap there. This one says console emulators by default. What you have to do is place it here, and now you're going to expand it and drag it up so that it's just in the middle of these two. And now we're going to tap on it to edit. Now we have to change the position of it, but we're not going to use the position button over here. We're going to use the height option. Change this from 228 or whatever number it is to 145. And then hit save. And that will position it properly. And then you also go to select object again, static text, to change it to where you want it to be, text. Whoops. And now you can change it to whatever you want. I'm just going to call this one apps, like that. And now you can just go back, and then it'll reposition itself like that. So that's the apps one. Now we're going to do the second one. You do the same exact thing, except the height is going to be different. So, same thing, UCCW 4x1, titles, tap. And now you're going to place this one here, expand it up. Now you can see it's kind of aligned, but it's slightly off. So when you edit this one, under height, you're only, instead of changing it drastically to 145, you're going to change it to 215. And then hit save, and that will position it right. And then go to static text and choose text to change the name of it. And I'll just call this widgets. Like that. Now you just go back, and that'll reposition itself. And now all three of these are in line. You have the widget set up properly. Now one thing you want to make sure you do is, only for this one, you just have to send it to the back. So that way you can at least edit the miscellaneous one again if you need to. And then if you want to edit this one, just tap lower. And then that says, I don't know if you can see it, but it says apps. So just make sure you send the top one to the back on every screen. So now what you want to do is add the apps and the widgets. So to add the apps, I find it easiest to add a shortcut to your app drawer. So you go into Nova Actions, select app drawer, and it'll create a shortcut for that. So now you're just going to use this shortcut to access your apps. So for this, I'm going to put the three apps that were there before, which for me were Tasker. And you can put whatever you like here, but so that one goes there. And then I had Widgetsoid, and the last one I believe was Campus. Now you can put however many apps you want. You have up to 10 because you have 2 layers of 5. And just one thing to note, as you can see with the app drawer, it kind of overlays into the widget bar here. So for anything you put on the second row, you'll have to make sure that you just hold it down and hit edit, and then take away the label. And that way it won't show a label and it'll just show the icon. So now we're going to go on to widgets. So go into the app drawer, widgets, select whatever you like. I'll show you in a good example of what I had before, which was so I had my Gmail here. I'll just put work, which doesn't have anything in it. But now you just have to resize it so that it fits in the bottom 2. And then you go here. I'll show you the other app I had there originally, which was Tasks, if I can find it. No, it'll be this way. Here we go. Tasks. And then just make sure if it's not resized properly to resize it, and then you can do that. Now, this is one example of what you can do here. You have, I was able to put up to 3 widgets here that are reasonably sized so you can actually see them all. Another example I can show you here is you can take YouTube. Now this is obviously too large because it would take up too much space, so I squished it to this size. Whoops. And then you can also use news and weather. Now by default this is going to overlap over the YouTube app, but all you just have to do is hit resize and correct that. And then the other one I had there on my first home screen I showed you was, can't exactly remember, oh, the calendar. It was the simple calendar widget, which is here. You're going to select 4x1, and obviously you're not going to keep it as 4x1. You're going to resize it and squish it down to this size. So you can do this combination over here, or you can mix and match these however you like. You can just put that there and that there. You know, whatever suits your needs. Just make sure you fit them in to this section. So that's how you set up the home screens. Basically, you just do the same steps and repeat them for all your different home screens over here. So I had one for Google, I had one for media, I have one for gaming. You can change these to widgets, and then I put this one as music, pictures, and videos. You can put these as however you like. So the next section I have to show you is how to get the notification bar to match the orange theme. To make the battery and other things in the notification panel look like this, you're going to be using an app called Super Status Bar. Now what you have to do is first toggle this switch here. This turns it on. The hand here signifies accessibility. You have to just make sure that Super Status Bar is turned on. This allows it to access the notifications and actually place them up here. And then in general, you want to make sure that Start on Boot is checked so that way it doesn't show the other notification bar instead, and this overlaps over it. The static notification you can turn off if you like. I just don't like having the notification in my panel the whole time, so I turned that off. And now we go to Elements. Now here you can select whatever you like. I put in the clock and the battery and some other things. But just make sure that for clock, you have yours set to these settings with the text color being the same color as before. You want to put in FF7D11, and that will make it this color. And there you go. I found that the best way to do this is to make the text visible and the icon visible, and that way you get this kind of selection here. And then just make sure that the text color is white. And so that's how you make the notifications like that. Next, you want to make sure that, so that you don't edit these anymore, these widgets here, you want to go into the actual app for it, which would be UCCW, and you're going to just go up to the menu, or press your menu button if you have one, and just go to hotspots mode and make sure you turn it on. And that will prevent the editing from happening within the actual home screen. So then if you can tap all you want, it's not going to go anywhere. So you can mess around with this and set it up however you like. I just decided, here I'll show you one thing. I put a Nexus logo in the corner of every single home screen, and that just gives me a quick link to my app drawer. It kind of replaces the whole app drawer in the dock, because we don't have a dock anymore. And the way I change this logo, I'll show you, is after you hit edit, you just tap this and it edits the logo. And I got this logo from Armando, actually, so you can go find that on his channel somewhere. And I also put a link in the Play Store here. This is a widget so I can start recording audio and some other things like that. So I hope you have fun with this new theme with Nova Launcher for free. If you have any questions, you can leave comments below, right below that like button, and make sure you hit that. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching.